What's up, my people? Welcome to Vertical Football. Welcome to another episode of 5 Things We Learned. Newcastle 1, Arsenal nil. Guys, let's jump right into it. The 5 things we learned. The first thing I must say is, for some time, there have been some concerns about Arsenal. We have seen it that, in the last 5 games, Arsenal won 2. They lost 2, that's inclusive of this one, and they drew 1. And even when you look at starting from the Leicester game that they won 4-2, there were already signs. I think if you are conversant with our episodes here, we said this is not the Arsenal we have come to know. Arsenal loses concentration. There is something not right about this Arsenal team. After that game, they won Southampton before they lost against Bournemouth, and they drew against Liverpool, as we analyzed that last week, and now they've lost against Newcastle. So I felt that there have been many concerns about the way they play. And I think we have to address the fact that, there was an episode we did on the show where we call it the Arteta gamble. We said, in as much as Arsenal is finishing second back to back, Arsenal has not yet done, they've not yet built their squad in a very strong way. We have to just address it in the sense that how can the injury of Odegaard, just injury of a player, I know he's your captain, but the injury of just one player will just automatically change the system and the style of play of a team. It's to show that that team has not yet developed itself, has not yet done enough business to be able to withstand the injury of key players. And I think Arteta and the board need to look at this. They need to look at this as quick as possible, because you cannot have that the injury of one player leads to a total change of pattern, a total change of philosophy. The team is clearly weakened by the absence of Odegaard. Secondly, in this game, we have to look at it and say there's no creativity, really. The second half was even more annoying, in my own opinion, in terms of no creativity, no ability to break and play through the defensive line of Newcastle, everything was just really stiff, predictable, no spark, no creativity. And really you have to look at it, because you cannot have a situation whereby Newcastle, that is not a possession team, that is an high intensity team, is being dominant against a Arsenal team that is clearly a possession-based team. I think really concerns. There was no creativity, and Arsenal needs to fix this up as soon as possible. They need to find a way to play creatively, even when the likes of Odegaard is not available. Thirdly, I think Trossard, we have to just say it. Trossard, particularly Trossard. I know some people will say Trossard and Martinelli, but for me, Trossard, because we analyzed it. I think the Champions League game, we analyzed it here that Trossard was having a bad game in that. He had a bad game in that match, and it has not been a trend that he seems to be going through a dip in form. And he's a human being, he's a player, a good player at that, but at the moment he's not on form. And I feel Arteta should do the right thing by giving other players the opportunity. Most especially, trust the young boy, Nwaneri. Trust him. It's in times like this that new stars are born. It's times like this. Try the guy, test the guy. As the popular say, we go, if he's good enough, then he's old enough. Try him, let him play. Don't need to put him on the bench. And I think Arsenal, in my own opinion, from an outsider position, I'm looking at it. If I was Nwaneri, looking at what Trossard was playing today, what other players were playing today, and the reluctance of me not starting or me not playing early enough, I will look at it and say, then I see why Obichido Martin decided to leave Arsenal, really, because this Arsenal under Arteta is not really known for giving youngsters that much of an opportunity. Arteta is always very careful with the amount of players he uses and the amount of players he gives opportunity. And I feel that he needs to, drop those beliefs and try this guy, trust this guy. And number 4, I would say, let me take on the Newcastle side. Isak is amazing. Isak is getting to the Isak that we know. We're happy about that. Gordon, fantastic cross from Gordon to Isak. I think this is what you want to see, really. This is a perfect example of crossing a nod. This is what you want to see. So it's really a pleasure to see that Isak is back, to see that Newcastle is going to gain that momentum, that form, So it's really good to see. And then lastly, I think the fifth thing I would say is clearly we have to agree that Arsenal is going through a little bit of dip in form, a little bit of decline. I know it's 5 years in the process, as Arsenal fans will say, but if you watch the episode where we said as Arteta's gamble, you remember a point we said that you cannot always be second forever. Other teams are trying to improve. Chelsea has improved, definitely. Liverpool has improved. You have to keep improving. That's the name of the game. The name of the game in the Premier League, you have to keep improving. Because you finished second last season, is no guarantee that you're going to finish second next season. Because other teams are improving, you have to improve. And I have to say, and I still want to say this again to Arsenal fans, I don't believe that the last transfer window really improved Arsenal. I have to say it didn't really improve Arsenal. I think because when you look at it that the only player you could say was an improvement on the Arsenal team was Calafiori for a clearly and efficient position for Zinchenko. So apart from that, there is no clear improvement. There is no clear improvement. Still, Arsenal is still over-relying on Saka. Still, there's no creativity. Over-relying on Odegaard. Odegaard is injured now. There's that over-reliance. Big teams have big squad of good players, at least two good players in each position, and they are not over-relying. Manchester City can play the next game, win the next game because they're not relying on the likes of Rodri and relying on the likes of De Bruyne so much. Arsenal is relying on big players, and when those players are not performing or are injured, there's a problem. So, guys, thank you very much for sticking with us. As usual, let's know your opinions on the game between Arsenal versus Newcastle. Newcastle won, Arsenal 0. Just drop your thoughts, really. Yeah, I think Arsenal fans are not really happy. Even we analyzing it are not really happy because we wanted Arteta to take the next level with this Arsenal team. And I believe that they have to now. If not, they can really drop forever, really. So I believe the next 48, the next two transfer windows are very, very important for this Arsenal team. January transfer window is important. And the next summer transfer window is important for Arsenal to arrest this dip. If not, they might just turn back to a top 4 team or even miss out on the Champions League from year to year. Thank you very much, guys, for sticking with us. To see you next time. Bye.